Hi, afternoon to those of you who've joined us. Welcome. What we're doing today is just an introduction to some of the sessions that I'm going to be running over the next 4 to 5 weeks. Obviously, I'd normally be doing this in the university. So what we've decided to do is to take these business startup sessions online. So just an intro today, so that you know what we'll be covering. Next slide. So the introduction, what we're going to cover today is just introduction and house rules. I'd like you to meet the team. Obviously, it's not just me. We've got CEO and Robbie behind here. The purpose of the sessions, timing, we're going to make them very short and to the point, these sessions, and protocols on how we respond to your questions and follow-ups. And I'm also going to talk about the university seed funding, which I'm sure is what most of you are interested in. How else I can support you with business startup and any questions and answers that you may have. Okay. Do I need to move on to the next slide? So if you're watching at the comfort of your home and want to get involved, you can just simply post your comments and see we'll show it up or invite you into the studio. There will be time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation, but we do encourage you to participate, and we have a comments box there for you as well as on Facebook stream and chat box on your YouTube stream. Please don't be shy. Come and join us. This is the first time I've done this, so it's quite difficult for me as well. And this is just the introduction, so don't forget you're not going to learn anything on this session about setting up a business. That they will follow later in the week. Next slide. So here we are. I'd like you to meet the rest of the team. I'm Nicky Curtis. Some of you I know. I've been working in Solent Creatives or in the university for about 9 years, mainly as a consultant. I only came in as a part-time employee in September. So I've been running businesses for far, far too long. I don't want to tell you how many years, but I've had quite a few different businesses. So I'm very much a small business person, haven't worked in corporate life very often. And then I have my two colleagues, CEO, who is camera shy, but he's going to have a chat with you.
Hello. Hi guys. So my name is CEO. Probably if you have seen me around the university, you know what I do, but briefly, I'm one of the coordinators of Solent Creatives. And then I'll just add Robbie into the studio as well. So apart from Solent Creatives, in my spare time, I run my own photography business, and I have a magazine as well. So my skills vary from visual arts to design as well. And yeah, they do come quite across. So they're different skills that help me with the coordination of the agency as well.
Okay. And hi guys, I'm Robbie. I'm the graduate coordinator. I've been with Solent Creators for about 5 months now. In my spare time, I do music. I have a band. I do film editing. I do filming, a little bit of acting as well. So I'm pretty much all around the media sector. Apart from fashion, I'm really bad with fashion. But yeah, those are pretty much my skills.
Okay, thank you guys. We're being very modest today. Okay, shall we move on then to what we're going to cover on the over the next few weeks? So the purpose of the sessions really is to provide you with a practical insight to setting up your own business and freelancing. And I say practical, this is not an academic unit. It is what you actually need to go out there and do to start your own business. So I just want to make that absolutely clear to you. We will want some, protocols and follow-ups. So please post questions as we go along. If you feel that you want to just email me afterwards, that's absolutely fine. We may not be able to answer all your questions in these sessions, and it may be more appropriate for me to contact you afterwards. But please, 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 come forward with any questions that you might have. No question is stupid. Running a business is difficult thing to do, and if you've never done it before and you've got no idea how to start, it's really, you know, just ask anything that you want to ask. What I'm trying to do as well is reduce the size of these sessions. If we were in the university, I run these as half day and day courses, but I'm going to try and keep it to just an hour each session, so that you can assimilate the information and hopefully take it away. So that's the plan. And obviously, I'd really be grateful for your feedback after the first session, just to let me know how it's working for you. Next slide. So these are the topics that I've chosen to be the key ones. One of the first things I always get asked is, how do you start a business? What's the legal structure? Am I a freelancer? Am I a sole trader? Do I start a limited company? It's a very complicated question, and everybody's an individual. So we won't all necessarily be self-employed. We may have to start limited companies. So I'm going to go through the pros and cons of each, and then you can have a think about which legal structure is best for you. So we'll cover that on Thursday. The one thing about legal structures are that there is a crossover between legal structures and tax. And I'm going to try and keep them separate in this session. But you do have to understand that sometimes we choose our legal structure to deal with our tax implications as well. So hopefully then I will go on to cover tax and national insurance in the second session. So when you have done those first two sessions, you'll have a really good overview of how to set yourself up, which is the right legal structure for you, how to pay your tax and national insurance. So I hope that will be useful. Following on from there, please note there is a week's break. So we're doing one on Thursday, and then I'm taking a week's leave. So the next one won't be until the 25th of June. Then following on from there, I'm going to do a session on setting up your accounts. And when I say setting up your accounts, you understanding how the accounting system works in terms of your expenses and what you can offset against your business. I will show you briefly some online systems that you can use to set up your accounts. The most important thing for you to learn is allowable expenses, what you can put against the cost of running your business, what you can claim for. So we'll cover that in that session on the 2nd of July. And again, then hopefully you'll have a good overview. I'm afraid, again, that is something you tend to learn as you go along. And for each business, what you will be able to set against your business's cost will be different, depending on what sector you're in and what you actually do. And then in the fourth session, I'm going to touch on subcontracting and employment. Now, I don't normally do this anymore, sort of employment law, and I'm not going to cover employment law. I'm going to look at you when you work as a subcontractor for somebody else. If perhaps you're a filmmaker or you're working with other people, how you bring other subcontractors into work with you, your insurance implications. So again, you know exactly what you can and can't do. That'll be quite a short session, but I think it's an important one for you to learn. So those 4 sessions will be the key things that you need to know to get started. What I'd like to hear from you is what other sessions you'd like. So I would often cover how to write a business plan. I cover sometimes looking at the business model canvas, how to use it as a brainstorming tool. We can look at intellectual property. So really, it is also down to you to come back to me and say, actually, this is what I'd like to learn more about, and then we can put on a session for you. If you're at the university, we do have some extra resources that you can use as well, that I can send across to you. Okay, so next slide. So I think that's what I've said to you. What would you like to learn? So, CEO, are you back there? Would you like to explain to us what you'd like them to do in terms of what else you'd like to learn.
Yeah, of course. So basically, if you guys have any questions or any ideas on what future sessions we can maybe organize for you, I would ask you to complete either the URL, which I've put on the slide, or you can scan it if you're watching on a mobile device and you use your phone, so you can scan the links to directly. The other thing I've done as well is I'll put this one up as well. So this is the link. And if you take on that survey, you can send on the questions and the ideas for the future startup sessions, and we'll take on those and review them within the team. So yeah.
Thank you, Sia. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, hope that sort of makes that slide clear. To move on. So this is probably what some of you have logged on today to find about. Now, the university does have what we call seed funding, startup funding. We have spent our allocation for this academic year, but don't fret. We normally have panels 3 or 4 times a year, but from the next academic year, so we should know about our funding in August, we are changing how we do it slightly. We are going to be reviewing these every month. So that means there's not a mad rush to get your business plan in for panel. If you get your business plan in by the first Monday of each month, the team will review it for you. So what you actually need to do to apply for seed funding is you need to prepare a business plan. We have a business plan template, or you can use one of your own, and a cash flow forecast. I really would suggest to any of you who are working on your business plans at the moment that you look at your cash flow forecast soon. I prefer people to look at them before they start writing their plan. We don't like doing it, but sometimes we write our business plans. We haven't even thought about the cash flow forecast and how we're going to earn money out of this. And then we've spent the time writing the plan and the idea isn't going to work. So please don't bury the cash flow forecast until last. Take a look at it. Be realistic about what your projected earnings are likely to be. So having given you a lecture on that, what you will need to do is to prepare a business plan and cash flow forecast. And then we'd like you to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, just as if you were coming to panel in the university. And we'd like you then to upload a 10-minute video of you presenting your idea to the panel. So we can actually see you with your presentation, presenting it to us as if we were in the university panel. We would also obviously like a copy of that presentation as well. So that is basically what you need to do to apply for startup or seed funding, as we call it. I don't know how much we're going to have next year, and it is competitive. So do not assume just because you put an application in that you're going to get the funding. It's a grant, you haven't got to pay it back. So we assess the ideas, we assess your idea as to its credibility and its viability. We also assess you, how we think that you have presented yourselves and how competent we think you will be as a business person, having read your business plan and had a chat with you. Because what I omitted to tell you is that we will actually interview you as well, so that you'll have a chance to ask us questions after you've submitted your plan and other things up online. So it'll be assessed by several different people. We will assess them individually, and then we will come together and do a final assessment, and then we will come back to you with the results. We may not fund the total amount that you're asking for. At the moment, it may be the maximum you'll be able to apply for is £3,000. I'm just not sure at the moment until we know what our allocation is. And there is a form that you will need to complete to say what you're asking for the money for. So it's really important that you think about that and think about it as your own money. You know, if you were given £3,000 and you had to make it go a long way, would you spend it all on a brand new laptop, or would you buy a reconditioned one and spend the rest of the money on something else that you needed? So we will look and think about how you're applying for the funding and what you're asking for it for. So I hope that that will be more useful to you, that it will be monthly, rather than you having to, in normal circumstances, it will probably be one panel before Christmas. So that is how we're going to do it. Unfortunately, when the money's run out, the money's run out. So I don't think we'll get an extra allocation. So if you're thinking of coming forward, you know, possibly sooner rather than later. And if you're unsuccessful, you're able to reapply again. So it's not, you know, oh, I haven't got the money, I can't reapply. That's not the case. If you're a graduate, you have up to 3 years from the day you graduated to apply for funding as well. So you are eligible, and we do have a lot of graduates apply for startup funding. So I hope that's sort of given you an overview of the startup funding. We will have again next year a program that the students are on at the moment called the Accelerator Program, and that's for high growth businesses. So some of the students who started that last week have also already had some funding from the university, and now they're on a high growth program, which is running by Mujib, our entrepreneur in residence. And hopefully we will also have the opportunity to take some entrepreneurs to Portugal next year to the Entrepreneurs Conference. So there's plenty out there for you to inspire you if you're starting a business. Okay, next slide. Sorry. Right, so business advice sessions. Unfortunately, I can't meet you in the university at the moment, but you're very, very welcome to email me, and we can have an online session, whatever your preference is. Skype, Zoom, anything else, Microsoft Teams. We can arrange for that for you. I can speak to you on the phone if you prefer to do that, or I'm happy to email you. Often it's much easier to speak if you've got lots of different questions that you want to ask me. Very happy to look at your business plan. So if you're preparing a business plan at the moment, don't wait until the end before you send it across to me. I'll have a look at it, give you some feedback, and then we can also have a chat about it as well. Some people just book an appointment because they've got an idea and they just want to talk it through just to see whether it's going to be viable. So those sessions are available to you, and I can talk to you almost any day of the week at the moment. It's really easy to book an appointment. I'm not doing it on set days. So please either phone, text, or email me if you want to get in touch. Any other? Next slide, Sia, if there is one. Okay, so I hope that has given you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be covering from Thursday onwards. And it's really down to you to interact with us and tell us what it is that you need or you want, and how we can help you with anything to do with freelancing or setting up a business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikki. So I think we have one person queuing to ask their question. It's Joshua Alexander. I'll add him in a second. So again, this slide shows a simple survey. This is more of an overall feedback on how did you find the session. If you have any questions, recommendations, or suggestions, again, simply scan or use the link, which I will bring up on the screen in a sec. Let me do that. And again, if there is anything else that you guys want us to do, by all means, please provide that as feedback, because it's very essential to what we can deliver for you. Okay, so I'll add Josh quickly. Josh, if you're ready.
Hello.
Hi, Josh.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Good. What can I do for you?
I mean, I didn't have any specific questions. Just me and two of my friends in my course were thinking about setting up a business. Maybe not like a legit business for like third year, but after we graduate, we might want to take it further. So I just was wondering your best advice, like how I could go around it, because I've never done this before. Like I do a lot of freelance stuff, but I've never gone into like making a business or anything like that. So
okay. So what's your area? What are you doing? What's your area?
videography.
Your video.
So, like I've got a wedding next year, and then I've got some music videos. So all sorts really.
Okay. Are you going to be around on Thursday for the session?
I'm not sure what the session is, but yeah, I can be there.
The session on Thursday at 2:00 is setting up a business.
Okay, I'll be there.
The first thing I'm going to say to you is basically don't start a business with your friends from university. Okay. It's a bit like a prenuptial agreement. You know, you're at university now. I think I would stay freelancing. By all means, work together on projects. I mean, I run my own business, and if I get a project in, I bring in other freelancers to work on the project with me. The client doesn't realize that. They just think that they're part of my business.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems is individuals getting together at university, setting up what you would have to do if you were going into business together, a legal structure, a limited company. Okay. So firstly, if there's 3 of you involved, that means there's 3 of you that need feeding out of it, literally, money.
Yeah.
And if one of you has some money, the other one has to have the same amount. So you think about you taking on one project, and you all have to have the same amount of money out of it. There won't be much money left in the business.
Yeah.
You may not have any money in the business to start with. So you have to,
at the moment.
Yeah, so you have to think about that. So this limited company is a legal entity, and it's run in a very different way from you doing a bit of freelancing. Okay.
Right.
Now the biggest problem is that it's inevitable. I'm sorry, I know I'm old, but it's happened to me. It's happened to loads of students that you, by nature of your age and the opportunities that's going to come your way, that you're not all going to stay together for very long.
No, this is the thing. Like we were talking about it, but in reality, it might be best if I like do my own company and then bring one as director, one as editor, in the project separately.
Absolutely. So what I would suggest you do is you can set up a website and have them on there as associates. Yeah.
Right.
They have to come through you. So, I mean, the best thing is to have them on there as associates with their different skills, you know, and their backgrounds and everything else. I mean, if you think you're going to lead on it, then you run it, and then they subcontract to you as so they're subcontracting off of you. That means you're all in business in your own right. Okay, you're not legally tied together. And if in a couple of years' time you think, oh, this is going to work, you know, you're all together still. But one of my biggest challenges is unraveling these limited companies a year, 6 months, 2 months after students leave university. Because
that's the thing.
I can give you an example. There was a couple of guys and they were doing really, really well at uni. They had so much freelance work. They set up a limited company in Southampton, and then obviously they had to leave their accommodation because it was the end of uni. They were both self-employed. They couldn't get anywhere to rent because they didn't have a job. One of them, their parents would pay, the other wouldn't. So they had to split up. One went back home and the other stayed. And then they had the hassle. They're still trying to dissolve the limited company because basically they don't have anything to do with each other anymore.
Right.
So I'm just telling you these scenarios because it's, you know, if it's a company, you're getting into basically a prenuptial arrangement, you know.
I mean, I wasn't going to set up like a legit company yet because obviously I'm going into my 3rd year, but I just wanted to push myself, you know, because I want to get more like freelance work and stuff before I like leave university.
Yeah. Well, you must do work for Solent Creatives.
I've done like, how many have I done? 1 or 2?
You've done quite a few projects, I think.
Yeah, well, we were going to do a beans one, but that got postponed.
Interrupted, yeah. Well, I have another gentleman queuing in the background, Nicky, for you. Unless Josh, you have something else to add?
No, that's
Josh, if you want to talk to me outside of this meeting, then just give me a shout and we'll have a chat. But there's lots of things, implications. So I would say set up on your own, you know, bring the others in. But just remember that the others are in business in their own right, so they must hold their own insurance.
Yeah.
You know, they have to hold their own.
I think it's also like knowing how if I hired her as an editor or director, how much would I pay them out of how much the client's offering? That's what
we'll talk about that in another session. So come back to me, okay, and put me in line and we'll have a chat. All right.
Okay.
Thanks very much for coming, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Nicky, I'm gonna add Joshua now. How interesting is that? And he'll walk you through his yeah. Okay, here he is.
Hi there.
Josh.
I don't have any specific questions right now. I'm just here, sort of hang out in case anything comes up. So yeah, I'm just keen to hear more of what you've got to say.
I'm not sure that I'm going to say much more, Joshua. I mean, tell us about you. What's your course? What are you doing?
So I'm a graduate. I was part of the media technology program, studying a Bachelor of Science in live studio sound.
Right.
And since then, I've been working in the tech industry for a number of different companies. I've been working full time since I left uni, and I freelance on the side. But I'm looking to set up a limited company, so that's why I'm coming to these sessions to kind of learn a bit more about what I can do, what I need to prep, and things like that.
So you're going to set up a limited company on your own?
I am, yeah. I'm working as I'm set up as a sole trader.
Yes.
For my freelance work, but I'm looking at starting my own fully fledged company.
Fine, okay. And Joshua, that's absolutely fine. You're on your own. You haven't got anybody else to fall out with at the moment.
No,
so your company, you'll own all the shares in it. You may possibly want to move your freelancing work into your limited company.
Yeah.
What you've got to remember is that the difference is that at the moment, if you're earning money out your freelance work, you can just take money out when you want to, as long as you put money aside for your tax and national insurance. The cultural difference is with a limited company, you can't do that. You can only take it out as a salary or as dividends.
Yeah.
So it's a different mindset. So we'll talk about that when we talk about limited companies. So it takes a bit of getting your head round when you move from one legal structure to the other. And I guess the reason that you're moving is because you want to do more business, you want to have that formality and perhaps grow the business to sell. Maybe that's what you're planning on doing long term.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good, brilliant. Well, you're making the right decision. It will cost you more money to run, by the way. So just bear that in mind. Okay. But I'll talk to you about that if you're joining the other sessions.
Definitely, I'll be there.
Good.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you very much for turning up today. Nicky, thanks very much for delivering the session. Again, everything will be pre-recorded. So if you want to rewatch it again, or if you want to kind of see links to anything else, that will be in the video. Also, they'll be posted across our social media, and the contacts are across the whole video, so you can contact Nicky, myself, and Robbie whenever you need it.
Remember to join us on Thursday as well for our first session.
Yeah, I think the first session is probably the most important one, to be honest. You know, is to think about the things that go wrong with these legal structures. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Great to see you, and hopefully I'll see you. And you know where I am. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Nicky. Cheers, Theo. Cheers, Robbie.
Bye.